Falcon fans, Falcon Nation. First things first, if you're new to the channel, hit the like button, hit that comment section. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. As always, I'm your host, Chase, followed by my co-hosts, Philip and Cody. It's Dirty Fanatics United, episode 52, coming at you live on a Monday night at 8 o'clock. Philip, how we doing, brother? What's been going on? Short little weekend, a couple breaking news today, a lot of Falcon football to talk. What's going on, dog?
Not much today, but this past weekend we had an eventful, weekend. We celebrated Mom's birthday. You know what I mean?
So, yes, sir. Shout out to moms. Not gonna give her age on the podcast, but shout out to moms. Just had her birthday this weekend. Hope for many more to you, mom. So shout out to you. Much love.
But other than that, we've had some crazy, trades, signings. This weekend, some things I thought was kind of funny, but other than that, yeah, that's all that's happened, really.
Cody, brother, what's going on, man? We had a podcast Friday night, mock draft 2.0. Me and Cody, we drafted Dallas Turner at 8. Cody, what's been going on since then, bro? Has somebody else intrigued your mind at number 8? Talk to me, bro. What's been going on?
Yeah, man. I would say it's good to be back. Like I said, I could do this every day with y'all. I say, yeah, man, been doing a little looking and, into the draft, everybody that we've signed so far, feels like, has mostly been offense. So I was taking a look at some defensive players, and a Cooper DeJean, man, has kind of caught my eye out of Iowa. He's real quick, fast on the ball. Looked up some stats, man, and he doesn't have many. And normally if you're, a corner, if you don't have stats, it means people aren't throwing your way. So kind of interested in seeing him. I don't know if he'll go top 10, whatever. But definitely worth a look at.
Hey, man, y'all heard Cody. You heard the prospect to watch over here at Dirty Fanatics United. It's your boy Chase, Cody, and Philip. We're talking Falcon football tonight. Tonight's subjects will be Atlanta Falcon news and update, as always. We'll talk a little bit about some draft prospects that we expect to land here in Atlanta. Falcon Nation, please hit that subscribe button if you're new here. If you're new to the channel, hit this comment section. Leave a comment. Let us know who you are, where you're watching from, and who you think the Atlanta Falcons draft at number 8. Cody, you gave a little bit about some draft prospects. Before we get too deep into draft prospects, I want to give our Atlanta Falcon news and updates. Breaking news today before we get on the podcast. Kavia Street is signed to the Atlanta Falcons for a 1-year deal. Defensive lineman Kavia Street on a 1-year deal should give help in the middle of that 3-4 front. That's Josh Kendall on Twitter X. Shout out to Josh Kendall for that post. Philip, Cody, Kavia Street in Atlanta for another year. How are we feeling about this signing? Philip, with you, Kavia Street back. How we feeling?
Oh, that feels great. Especially if he continues to play like he did. He was huge when Grady went down. He was taking like a good bit of the double team, or he was just getting back there to put pressure. It was just something different. And then like also with the speed, it was just we ain't had somebody like that in a while, it seemed like, but I'm not going to say he's like so crazy, but it can big contribute to the defense, especially when somebody like Grady goes down.
Eight solo tackles, 6 assists, 1 sack here in Atlanta in his short 5 games. Kavia Street did have an injury to short-live his term here in Atlanta, but they seen enough. Jimmy Lake came in the building, watched tape on Kavia Street, and said, you know what? I want this guy on my 3-4 front. This guy's going to be a good rotational piece. Cody, you heard Philip, his thoughts on Kavia Street. 1 more year here in Atlanta. Your thoughts about Street. Does he fit this scheme? What do these coaches see in Kavia Street? And why is he still on this roster?
Yeah, man, I think they see the same thing that, we saw, like you said, in a short 5-game season here with us. Fast, physical, hard off the, it's impressive to have, the stats that he has in that short amount of time, especially without a Grady Jarrett out on the field to take attention away from him. Man, I'm excited, especially if, we're not able to get a Bud Dupree or Calais Campbell decides that he is done with football. That we've got a guy that, is a serviceable, starting defensive lineman, man, that fits this scheme and that we can rely on, to rotate out in and out.
Kavia Street, man, I was big on the guy. Philip, we talked about it last year on the podcast a good bit. Kavia Street took on a huge role when Grady Jarrett went out. He done quite well with Grady Jarrett, but Grady going down really gave Kavia Street his shine here in Atlanta for those last 5 games of his career here, or I say career, last season. Kavia Street back for another year. I like it. Good rotational piece. You've seen him get progress in a regular defense. You switched to a 3-4 this year with a new coordinator in Jimmy Lake. I'm sure somewhere down the road for Kavia Street, he's played a 3-4 defense. His body, his build, Kavia Street fits a 3-4 defense. Just the measurements. That's an athlete that works at a nose guard position. Grady Jarrett possibly on the side. Like you said, if Calais Campbell's come back, maybe he's on the edge with Ebiketie on the side and whoever you may draft, like a Dallas Turner or et cetera. So this defense, man, I think can still be deadly here in Atlanta. While we're talking about Kavia Street, I want to give a shout out to Douglas, Georgia, 35 to 40 minutes away from mine and Phillips' hometown, Baxley, Georgia. Hometown of Kavia Street, something I did not know until today. Also, hometown of Tyreek Hill. So shout out to Douglas, Georgia, putting out athletes over there, getting shown tremendous love. Tyreek Hill, I believe, last year just built on like a new football stadium for Douglas, Georgia. So shout out to Tyreek Hill and what he's got going on over there in Douglas. Much love to them. Before we get too far into this podcast, man, got to show love to the comment section. Headed over to the chat, going to the top. Brandon Keeler in the chat said, Chase, what's good, bro? Let's get it. Philip, rise up, brother. The man, Cody. Brandon, much love, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. Future special guest here on the show, Brandon Keeler, will be here for Dirty Fanatics United Fan Night. Philip, Cody, breaking news. Fan Night coming up soon on a Friday night. So if you want to be part of Fan Night, hit the 1 in the comment section. Leave a 1 if you want to be here. I'll message you after the podcast or you message me, and we'll get a list. We need at least 4 participants to have Fan Night here on Dirty Fanatics United. So please participate. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe. Headed to the next comment. King Atlanta supporter said, what's up? King Atlanta supporter, appreciate you tuning in, brother. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Appreciate the comment. Ryan Thomas, another Atlanta Falcon content creator, said, what's up, everyone? Shout out to you, Ryan Thomas. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. King Atlanta support said, a lot's about to change. Yes, sir. You've already seen it. You've seen it in the quarterback room. You've seen it in the receiver room. You're starting to see it on the defense side of things. This draft's really gonna determine the route these Atlanta Falcons take. King Atlanta supporter says Super Bowl rings is what I need here. Yes, sure. We all do desperately. We all need it. Brandon Keeler said, fellas, thoughts on Chase Young going to the Aints? Philip, starting with you, Chase Young to the Aints. How we feeling?
Op season, baby. It's op season. Yeah, but
let's be honest. Be honest. How do you feel about Chase Young? Leaving the 49ers, we saw his production with Bosa. Your thoughts of Chase Young coming to the New Orleans Aints over the Atlanta Falcons? We didn't even interview him whenever he potentially tried to talk to Chase Young. Your thoughts of Chase Young?
Man, honestly, I don't see nothing much changing, if I'm being honest. I really don't. It's either going to be Caleb McGarry or Storm Norton in there. They're gonna put a lockdown on my boy, so you know what I mean. It's gonna be it is what it is. That's how I feel about it. It's off season, like I said. So we're gonna see how it goes.
Cody, Chase Young signing with the Aints. We'll have to see him twice a year. Kirk Cousins going up against Chase Young twice a season, coming off an Achilles injury. Are we worried about a Chase Young in New Orleans with a Cam Jordan? Your thoughts of the situation there in New Orleans?
No, I'm not worried about anything New Orleans is doing, man. I would say I can't wait to watch Bijan collect his ankles over and over again, as he zips right past him. I say, my thing is I don't care how good you are once you put on that Saints uniform, you suck.
For sure.
I don't care how good you are, but good for him. Enjoy finishing third in the NFC South this year.
I said the same thing, bro.
Cody calling it now. Atlanta Falcons on top. The Aints in the third. I'm guessing the Bucks at 2 because
second.
the Pansies aren't. The Pansies are the basement dwellers. I mean,
that's
turn the water off because it's leaking in the basement, and I'm tired of paying a high water bill because the Aints and the Panthers are in the basement. Man, it's getting old. Shout out to the Panthers for holding that down, though. Keep holding it down. ATL Rise Up said, or Facebook said, ATL Rise Up. Shout out to you. Brandon Keeler in the chat said, Chase Phillip, Cody, I'm calling it here. Joe Alt at 8 for the Birds. Actually, Mr. Brandon, Mock Draft 1.0, Dirty Fanatics United selected Joe Alt at number 8. So we would not be surprised with that move. That was something we would actually consider here at number 8 for the Atlanta Falcons. Chat, let us know. Joe Alt at 8, how are we feeling about that? Are we cool with taking the offensive tackle at 8 overall. We're talking about a 6'8" guy, over 220 pounds, offensive tackle, Joe Alt. How are we feeling about that? Wallace Smith in the chat said, what's going on, fellas? And Street was a good move to re-sign him and to be the depth rotational piece. Philip,
100%.
It doesn't matter what it is, bro. Whatever it is, the situation, we always have the same views as Wallace Smith, man. So shout out to Wallace Smith, bro. I would love to have you on the show one day, Wallace. Message me if you want to get on here for fan night. 15-minute interviews, all we got to do. We'd love to have you on, brother. Facebook user said, rise up, boys. Let me log in on Facebook.
It's Thomas Scott.
Thomas Scott. Shout out to Thomas Scott, the ambassador of the Rise Up Tour. If you're going to away games, hit up Thomas Scott right here. This man, Thomas Scott on Facebook, Rise Up Tours. They do it big time, man. If you're going on a away game, you don't want to go by yourself. You want to be with Falcon fans. You don't want to be outnumbered by the opponent. Be with the Rise Up Tour because they have Rise Up Tour buses. They have hotel discounts if you're a member of the tour. They give away merch at the beginning of the season if you're a member of the tour. So Rise Up Tour is the way to do it, man. I did it with them in New Orleans too. I did it with them in New Orleans, and it was the best away game experience I possibly could have had. Definitely make the New Orleans trip again. Wallace Smith in the chat said, I'm banking on them drafting defensive tackle Sweat in the second round to fill the nose tackle role. And that's where the Joe Alt comes into play at number 8 because you can afford to take Alt at 8 and still get your defensive tackle and Sweat. Cody, Phillip, your thoughts about Joe Alt at 8 and taking DT Sweat out of Texas?
I'm cool with it. That's a guy that I even had. Sweat is one of the guys I had on one of my own mock draft, like off camera and everything. So just the way he explodes off the ball and everything like that, I'm cool with it. It's something that it'll remind me kind of like a upcoming Grady in a way. You know what I mean?
That is very true.
That
was exactly what I was thinking.
He's gonna fulfill basically if we go that route and get him, second round maybe. So I'm cool with it.
Cody, your thoughts about defense tackle Sweat? That would be dope to have. We've talked about him here. Cody, I believe you've talked about him a little bit here on the channel. Defense tackle Sweat in the second round. How are we feeling about that?
Man, I'd absolutely be okay with that. Even if we went first round, could you imagine going and getting Dallas Turner out of Alabama and then taking Texas boy and putting them next to each other? Man, this is the thing about the Falcons, man, is we're just getting scary on both sides of the ball. You look at our offense, it's like, who do you guard? You got Kyle, you got Bijan, you've got Mooney, you've got all these guys that you've got to pay attention to. Now it's the same problem, that other teams are going to have on defense. You take a Dallas Turner, you take a Sweat, you take Grady and Amyamata and all these guys. It's like, well, who do you double team? Who's
Anamata, Cody, is a guy that I keep forgetting about, bro. Anamata, a solid nose tackle, a big piece of what last season was. Anamata, great call there with a defensive tackle Sweat and a Grady.
Yes,
man, we talking playoff football, baby.
Man, we're talking NFC championship Super Bowl team at that point.
Let's go, man. Brandon Killer in the chat. Yes, sir. Let's get it. Good call, fellas. Nick Bongolo in the chat said, thank God Pitts is still 8. Don't have to buy another Pitts. Yes, sir. I can agree with that, brother. I was kind of wanting the 84 Pitts. I was kind of wanting to rock the 84, but shout out to Pitts for keeping 8. Shout out to Kurt for the number 18. That's the topic tonight. Obviously, we'll go ahead and talk about it now. We're not going to get too deep in it. Phillip, your thoughts about Kurt wearing 18? Obviously, one of the greats. Manning wore number 18. Phillip, your thoughts about Kirk Cousins with the 1-8 here in Atlanta?
Well, I'm digging it. It's something fresh for him. It's something different. Maybe the whole new team, new scenario, new number. Maybe that's what, for him to get over that, one playoff, win the edge. You know what I mean? He's the first person to wear it since 1992. So it's something different. We haven't seen it in a while. I haven't never seen it my whole lifetime. I've never seen a quarterback here in Atlanta wear 18. I'm gonna probably have to switch this one up a little bit. Do a little modifications to it, but you know what I'm saying. But other than that, I'm cool. I like it. I like
Cody,
that.
Cody, Phillip likes it. You hear it here at Dirty Fanatics United. Cody, your thoughts? Kirk Cousins rocking 1-8 here in Atlanta, just throwing the 1 in front of his number 8. I believe that's kind of the concept of this whole scenario. But Kirk Cousins wearing number 18 here in Atlanta, rocking the Peyton Manning jersey number. Cody, your thoughts about Kirk Cousins with 18?
Man, is it outrageous to say that he's already the best 18 to play for the Falcons ever?
Come on.
I would say, you know, I like it. It's not a bad number at all. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. In this 4 years, if Kirk Cousins wins us the Super Bowl with the number 18, he's the greatest 18 to wear the greatest 18 of all time. Peyton Manning,
Yes,
better than Peyton, better than all those guys. He brings a Super Bowl to Atlanta wearing the 18, greatest 18 jersey of all time.
Yes, sir, man. Kirk Cousins wearing number 18 here in Atlanta. Like Philip said, like you said, Cody, new beginnings here in Atlanta. Me personally, in my lifetime of being a Falcon fan, I have never seen a quarterback in Atlanta wearing 1-8 on their back. So definitely going to be a new look. Used to seeing 18 out at receiver spot, you know, Calvin Ridley, then Matt Collins rocked it for a little while. So 1-8, a jersey that maybe Kirk Cousins can maybe one day lock away that no other Falcon could wear 1-8. So maybe Kirk Cousins is the guy to do that. Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, man, I got a lot of hope for this guy. I've got big expectations out of this offense this year, a lot of talent. A lot of people projecting the Atlanta Falcons to take a receiver in the first round pick. We're going to talk about that here tonight. But before we do, let's run down these free agency signings. We'll give a grade on each pick. We'll go A through D. Give your honest opinion in chat. Tune in. Give me the name and then put A or D, A through D beside it. Let me know what you rank these guys. Cody, Philip from the top. Kirk Cousins, Philip, rocking with you. Obviously, I'll give the Kirk Cousins signing an A. The only reason why I don't give the A+, and I would definitely give the A+ if Kirk Cousins was healthy. If the signing was a healthy Kirk Cousins coming over to Atlanta. I'm not stressing the Achilles injury. That's not what this comment is. I'm just saying I can't fully give an A+ because we did sign an injured quarterback. My hope for Kirk Cousins to come back 100%, I believe he can do it. He talked really well about how he was feeling. He said he could come back now and play the quarterback position if he needed to. Where it would be an issue is when he would have to leave the pocket. So Kirk Cousins can obviously make the throws now. Kirk Cousins, A grade for me. Philip, your thoughts about Kirk Cousins grade A through D?
Okay, so I'm not really stressing the whole ordeal about the Achilles. I'm gonna give it an S tier. We're gonna go above and beyond. That's something we've needed for a while. It's a great quarterback. We haven't had it since Matt Ryan. And this kind of resembles to me a little bit of what we did have when we did have Matt. So I'm gonna give it a whole S tier. I'm gonna go above and beyond.
Philip going with the overachievement. Shout out to Philip with his grade on Kirk Cousins. Chat, let me know Kirk Cousins 1 for good, 2 for bad. Cody, your thoughts about Kirk Cousins, A through D, your grade?
I'm giving the Kirk Cousins signing an A+, man. I just, he was a guy that I was talking about, really wanting to come here. Like when I first started coming on the podcast, if the money was right. I mean, it's a little expensive, and that's about the only thing that I'm like, well, I wish the money wasn't quite as much just because of the injury. But you know what? I'll take it. Like Philip said, we have struggled at the quarterback position since Matt Ryan's been gone. Many years of just, consistency. And I'm hoping Kirk brings the same thing that Matt did, just that consistency and the ability to win football games just by not turning the football over. So definitely an A+ for me on the Kirk Cousins.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Cody for his grade on Kirk Cousins. Shout out to Caleb Maxwell in the chat for the hashtag DFU. Philip, you got Caleb Maxwell on the list?
I do.
Wallace Smith said, I'm banking on them to draft. Okay, I already read this one. Brandon Cooler said, so let's get it. Good call, fellas. Wallace Smith said, I'm good with taking Alt with the 8th pick. Carlton Bunch in the chat said, rise up, Dirty Birds. Carlton, appreciate you tuning in, brother. Hit that like button, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're tuning in on Twitter, man, please head over to YouTube. DFU_ATL is all you have to type in. Head over, hit the subscribe button. We're at 332 subscribers on YouTube. If we hit 300 or 350 by the end of this month, Cody, my good boy Cody, is going to give away a ticket to the Atlanta Falcons game, guys. All you got to do is subscribe, share it to a friend, get them in here, hit the subscribe button. Let us send you to an Atlanta Falcon game. Hit the subscribe button, man. All it takes is one little press of a button. You could be headed to Atlanta for a Falcon game for free. Wallace Smith in the chat said, I would like to come on fan night. Shout out to Wallace Smith. That's another fan night we got so far. That's 2. We got Brandon Keeler and Wallace Smith on for fan night. Obviously have 2 more to 3 more slots open. So let me know if you want to be here on fan night to talk 10, 15-minute interview about your thoughts of the all season, the Kirk Cousins signing, give you the chance to voice your opinion. That's what fan night is here for. So please, if you want to be on the channel, leave a comment here or message me, Philip or Cody, and we'll be sure to get you on. Wallace Smith said, we'll have the same player with Sweat, just like the Bucks have with Villa Vea and nose tackle.
Oh, for sure.
Headed to the next free agent signing, Darnell Mooney. My grade for Darnell Mooney, I will give Darnell Mooney an A. That was a guy that I felt like gave good production in Chicago, almost 500 yards. The year before that, he put up over 1,000 yards. Obviously, they signed DJ Moore. His production was a little lower this current season. Darnell Mooney, if he can put up 500 yards here in Atlanta with a Drake London, a Kyle Pitts, and a Bijan and Tyler Algier already eating, that's all I need from Darnell Mooney. Come to Atlanta, put up 450 to 500 yards, and great signing. So I'll give Darnell Mooney an A. Philip, your grade?
I'm going to give it an A too. A guy that's out here running a 4.38 and a 40 time, taking the top of a receipt or corners, on the defense, man. It's just something crazy. If he could have honestly had a little bit better, yardage if he actually had a quarterback that actually threw him the ball. But that's for another time. But, it's something that we haven't seen since a Taylor Gabriel. We ain't seen or a Olamide Zacchaeus. We haven't seen somebody take the edge over a defense in a while. And bringing him, having an addition of like a Darnell Mooney is gonna. It's like who you gonna guard? He might take the double team going deep. It's gonna leave Drake, Kyle, Bijan, or I forgot the other 2 that we just got. Like he could leave one of them open as well. Like it's gonna be a who you guard.
Rashad Moore, Ray McLeod from the 49ers. You may draft another receiver. Philip, you're talking about who you gonna guard. If the Atlanta Falcons go and draft Malik Neighbor as 8. Who the fuck are you going to guard is the question. Who are you guarding if the Atlanta Falcons select Malik Neighbors at 8? Who are you guarding? Or Dunze. These are names here that have been leaked to Atlanta, and we're going to talk about it. Matter of fact, this isn't just Dirty Fanatics United talking about it. We got PFF graders talking about it. This could happen here in Atlanta, boys. This is something to watch. The Atlanta Falcons on offense could be freaking deadly next year. Not Arthur Smith. God. Throw soap in my mouth. Somebody put soap in my mouth. Terry Fontenot and Arthur Blank is on the strive to win now. Raheem Morris is part of that regime now. These guys want to win now. And these signings, man, they clarified to me that Dirty Birds want to win now. More than ever. Arthur Blank is coming up at an older age in his lifetime. And I don't know how much longer Arthur Blank may be around, guys. So for the Falcons to get this done while Arthur Blank is still here on the earth would be amazing, man. So Atlanta, please do it. Please get our guy the ring. So Cody, your grade on Mooney?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give it an A-. Just the only reason why is watching a little bit of his highlight film. It seems like he struggles with separation a little bit. But again, that may have something to do with, Justin Fields being his quarterback. I think once you kind of get Kirk in here who can look corners off and stuff like that, unlike Justin, actually playing with the real quarterback, I think he'll be able to flourish a little bit better here. And it'll definitely look a lot better, I would say. But other than that, man, other than the separation part of it, I was going to say I'd definitely give it an A and an A-.
Shout out to Recognized Game in the chat. Said, fan night, let's go. I am down. Recognized Game, hit me up on Facebook, brother, at Chase Cravey on Facebook, or you can message me on Dirty Fanatics United, on TikTok, wherever you want to message me at. Just get with me so I can send you the link, let you know what we're talking about so you don't, show up and you know what the interview is going to be about. Be sure to hit me up. So that's 3 slots there. We got Brandon Keeler, we got our boy Wallace Smith, and we got Recognized Game here on Fan Night, guys. We got about 2 more slots, 1 or 2 more slots left for Fan Night. Be sure to leave a comment here if you want to be on Fan Night. We'll be sure to get you in no matter who you are. If you want to talk Falcon football, you just got to respect the Dirty Birds and don't act a fool on the podcast. That's all I ask. So, all you got to do is leave a comment if you want to be here, man. We'll get you on the channel. Wallace Smith said, and you, a receiver that catch with their hands, and Mooney. Exactly. You got a receiver now in Mooney that can catch the ball. Recognized Game here with his grades. He said Kirk's an A and Mooney's an A. Falcon fans are loving this free agency moves, man. It's been a while since I've seen this many Falcon fans agree on free agency and the quarterback. A lot of fans, I would say, I thought when the Kirk Cousins signing was made, I thought, okay, here come the haters. Here come the haters because they didn't get the guy they wanted. But everybody just seems to love the Kirk Cousins move, and I'm so glad to see that here in Atlanta. Maybe we can all finally rally around a quarterback and make this thing happen here in Atlanta. DSGB Hall in the chat said, offense is definitely going to be lit. We need to get on this defense now. Rise up, fellas. Rise up to DSGB Hall.
Draft.
What's that, Philip?
I think that's what we targeted on the draft.
Exactly. Cody, your thoughts about DSGB Hall's comment here?
Yeah, no, I agree with him. I think defenses needs to catch up a little bit, with the signings that we've made, mostly being offensive, weapons. I'd love to see us go young in the draft and defense. Hopefully we just don't have the same, hopefully we've got enough, rotation. I just don't want us to get caught in the same situation that we had in 16 in the Super Bowl. We had that young, explosive defense, and you could just tell that they were tired. Unfortunately with, a lot of those guys had been that first year, not used to, an NFL schedule, and then going deep, about, as deep as you can possibly go. So I agree though. I want to see us go defense in the draft, be young, be fast, be explosive, and be hard hitting.
Yes, sir, man. You talk about that 2016 year, man. I reflect back now that you said that, and I look at the defense, and we're talking about players like DeAndre Campbell, Keanu Neal, Deion Jones, Collins at cornerback. Guys, we were a young team in the Super Bowl. I mean, stupid young. Like Brian Poole was on his rookie undrafted signings. Oh man, dude, man, the nostalgia when it comes back to 2016, man. We're gonna be back, boys, and we're finishing the damn goal this time. I don't care what they say. The Dirty Birds is gonna get a ring, and it's gonna happen in the next 4 years. Book it, put it on your calendar. Next 4 years, Dirty Birds are world champs. Sterling Woods and the chance that they definitely have some speed in the receiver room now.
For sure.
Off the chains, bro. Off the chains, man. Brandon Keeler said, I give Mooney a B+ because he can't separate well and struggles on the deep ball. Hey, bro, whatever grade, everybody has their own opinion. That's what the podcast is for. You don't have to agree with an A. B+ is still a good grade. And I could agree on the separations. There's been some problems. There's been people that's talked about Mooney's separation. Cody's mentioned Mooney's separation. He talked about maybe Fields, the quarterback, maybe the route running, the chemistry, the coaching. A lot could be the problem there. So hopefully Mooney we don't have too much load to have to put on.
True.
To have to put on Mooney. Maybe Mooney can come in and be that third.
Got more than just one or two guys by him now. He's surrounded by guys that's going to help him. It ain't going to have to rely on him if one guy's not in the game. He's going to be surrounded by guys that's just going to help him feed, and they feed off of him. That's just how it's going to be now.
We got a looming question here in the chat. Looming question here from Nick Bungalow. Philip, we talked about it. Cody, is Heineke staying? I've heard today that Heineke got like a contract bonus or something to extend his contract. I haven't seen that, like broken news. Have y'all seen this? Yeah.
So on the 16th, he got I think it was like $1.6 million bonus off of that. It looks like Heineke's probably going to be QB2. Unless he just gets traded. But it does look like it. I want to say it's not the worst thing on the planet, but.
And who's to say his production? If you look at it, really, the production here in Atlanta hasn't been what it was in Washington. At
all. Arthur Smith ruined that kid, dude.
And Taylor Heineke really isn't that bad of a QB, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
He beat us plenty of times in Washington. I know Taylor Heineke can win games here. I know he can do it.
It was the system. It was what was
Arthur Smith ruined Taylor Heineke, just like he ruined Desmond Ridder, just like he ruined the chances of Kyle Pitts being a 1K tight end each damn year. Yep. He ruined the fact that Drake London could never hit 1K because Arthur Smith could not game plan for Drake London or for Bijan or for Tyler Algier. Look at CP. CP is out of Atlanta right now because of Arthur Smith.
Yep.
Chat, you can agree, you can disagree, but CP is leaving Atlanta because of Arthur Smith. He would be here another year if Arthur Smith used him the correct way with Bijan and Algier. CP still had enough in the tank. CP showed it during the Saints game. Philip, me, you, Pops was sitting there. We seen it. CP angry runs is still a thing, and CP, you're gonna shine wherever you go, bro. Shout out to CP. Sterling Woods in the chat said the receiver situation. One time for the fans said they need a quarterback 3. I heard there's a guy in Atlanta that can throw 80 on the run, but you're leaving out the part. He's got 2 broke knees, a twisted up ankle, and his name's Jack Spade. That ain't gonna happen. Sterling Woods in the chat says Smith was not ready to be an NFL coach. No, at all. He offensive coordinator. I'm not going to bash the guy. He looked okay in Tennessee. He had a decent offense with Ryan Tannehill, but let's not act like Derrick Henry wasn't his scapegoat.
Let's be honest. Derrick Henry carried his offense. Let's just be honest. I mean, he did have flashes of moments of passes here and there, but Henry was the highlight of that offense. Those few years that he had, let's just be honest.
Shout out one time for the fan in the chat. God, we got a Buccaneer fan. He said, I vote for the Buccaneers. Hassan Terrell, we're going to change your mind, baby. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to make you Atlanta Falcon fan. Stick around long enough. Hit the subscribe button. Leave a like. You've already left a comment, so you're already one step. All you got to do is now hit the subscribe button, and then just stick around, and we're going to make you a Falcon fan. So shout out to you, Hassan Terrell. One time for the fan that said, God. Real quick, man, I want to give a shout out to our Twitter viewers, man. Twitter views have been going crazy the past. I say crazy. It ain't but 22 viewers right now on Twitter, but it's something that we haven't seen on Twitter in a while since we've been doing the podcast. So shout out to all the Twitter viewers. Like I said, if you're new to Twitter, if you're new to the podcast, head over to Dirty Fanatics United on YouTube, man. We're a podcast that does free giveaways. Philip, we gave away a free bucket hat with tons of signature, Michael Turner signature, Jesse Bates signature, AJ Terrell, Philip. There was multiple names on that hat that we gave away. Drake London. The hat was full of superstars here in Atlanta. We gave it away here on the podcast. Took our time to drive to Atlanta, 4 hours away. Drove to Atlanta, got the names, filled the bucket hat up, and gave it away to a fan of Dirty Fanatics United. Guys, if that ain't devotion, I don't know what is. Please head over to Dirty Fanatics United, hit that subscribe button. And please leave us a like, man. We greatly appreciate it. We're trying to hit 1K here at DFU, and we can't do it without you. Shout out to each and every one of you. Philip, head into the next free agency signing. Charlie Warner, tight end, Georgia boy, watched him play in college. Charlie Warner to the Atlanta Falcons. Philip, how we feeling?
It is a downgrade from what we did have out of Jonnu, but it's something we definitely needed. I'm going to give it a B+.
Downgrade as in playmaker, but an upgrade as in blocker.
Yes, basically this. Like, it's definitely something we needed. I'm gonna give him a B+, but you can't like just throw him out of the way because he can make some splashes here and there, and that's exactly what we need out of him.
It's like the Parker history, bro.
Yeah, like that's all you need from a guy that in his role. I mean, not trying to take nothing down from him at all because he's doing it better than I could ever do. I mean, to be honest, he's got he's got hands. He can. He's got an outstanding block, and I've watched him in, with the 49ers over in San Francisco. It's just certain things like that, and it's something that's going to make Kyle Pitts shine a little bit more. Having 2 guys that were kind of similar,
You're going to be able to let Kyle Pitts go out on his route,
yes,
and you're going to be able to let Charlie Warner run his blocking scheme.
Exactly.
100%. Philip hit the nail on the head for me with Charlie Warner. Cody, heading to you. Charlie Warner here as tight end, got him from the 49ers, a Kyle Shanahan guy, came over here to Atlanta. Your thoughts about Charlie Warner?
Yeah, I'm with Philip on that one. I'm gonna give him a B. He's not Jonnu Smith in the sense of catching and all that stuff, but I definitely like that he's a blocking tight end. It's always good to have that consistency. Who was our tight end there for a while that was our real good blocking tight end when Tony Gonzalez was here. He came from the Broncos. Totoya Lolo. He was I would say Levine. He was kind of same thing. Was decent catching the ball, but he was a great blocking tight end. So it'll be nice to have that again and get that edge, especially if we're giving the ball, letting Bijan do Bijan things, man.
Yes, sir, man. You heard Cody. Chat, hit that like button, hit that comment section if you hear y'all don't understand how much the like button helps. Hit that like button. We desperately need it. 38 people in the live chat, man. Shout out to everybody here. Hit that like button, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new to DFU, man. We want to make you part of the culture. Shout out to DFU. Shout out to the live comment section. Shout out to everybody here at Dirty Fanatics United. Real quick, going to take a short break, headed to the video section. Going to show you some merch over here on bonfire.com. Shout out to bonfire.com right now. Bonfire is the one that does our merch. Shout out to Jeremiah Williams, the guy that won our free giveaway Bonfire DFU white hoodie. Shout out to Jeremiah Williams. That's another free giveaway we did here at DFU. All he is subscribe to the channel, folks. That's all Jeremiah did was subscribe and hashtag DFU in the comment section, guys. That's all it takes to win here at DFU, man. We take care of our people that view, and we make sure to get you. Actually, we got another live giveaway coming up next week. The Julio Jones Madden action figure 2017 Prime Julio is gonna be up. It's gonna be up for a giveaway. So be sure to hashtag DFU in the live chat. If you're on Twitter, if you're on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're at, hashtag DFU and a subscribe on YouTube gets you in the free raffle. So be sure to do that. Headed to the comment section. Got a couple more comments before we head on with our free agency signings. Wallace gave Charlie a B. Brandon Keeler gave Charlie an A-. Philip Cody, I'll agree with you guys. I'll give Charlie a B as well. A good blocking tight end, a guy that can take some weight off of Kyle Pitts and let him do his route running. Kyle told Kirk he wanted the passes this year. I believe we see it coming from Kyle Pitts.
Now,
one time for the fan. Go ahead, Cody. Go ahead.
I was to say, now here's the fun thing. Does Kirk give Kyle those passes since he didn't give him 8?
I hope so. I hope so.
If Kirk is smart, he'll do it, and I think Kirk is smart.
On that comment there, Kyle did tweet today. He said, "Target's still coming" with the winky face. So,
yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Good. I didn't see that.
Shout out to Kyle Pitts, man. He's been going crazy on Twitter. Actually, after the news broke about the number 18, before the news broke, probably 3 or 4 hours before that, I see on Twitter, Kyle Pitts is tweeting, maybe a day before it broke, but he tweets, the league we play for is wild. Maybe, Kurt kept talking about maybe this number thing would be bigger than him and Kyle Pitts. So maybe that tweet had something to do with the number. I think the number exchange would have happened. I think Pitts was up to doing that so Kurt could retire in the number 8. And it still could be something that happens further on down the road. But Kirk Cousins to wear number 18, man. One time for the fan here in the chat said even Warner could be a threat in a Zach Robinson offense. Back with Kyle in 2016 with that style of offense, everyone caught the ball. Sneaky tight end. Facts. You talk about the 2016 season. Matt Ryan, multiple targets to each of his receivers. I believe he was the only quarterback to have like five touchdown passes to each of his receivers. Some crazy stat.
He was also the only quarterback to throw to 16 different guys or whatever.
There it is. That's the stat. That's the stat line. That's what I'm looking for. Shout out to Cody. Facebook user here said, I would be cautious with Cousins. Let's see. Facebook user.
Rufus Washington.
I don't know why, man. My Facebook's not pulling up, but Rufus Washington said he would be cautious with Cousins. Washington, man, leave a comment here. Let us know why. Like I said, we accept everybody's opinion here on the channel. We're not gonna judge you. Everybody has their own opinion of players. I didn't like Fields, but if he would have landed here in Atlanta, I was gonna rep him. But please let us know why Cousins should be cautious. We obviously know about the injury, but I believe he could come back from that. Nick Bungalow in the chat said, Charlie B, throw him the ball once in a while. Brandon Keeler said, Chase, Phillip, and Cody, I'd love to stay. Got to get up at 3:45 a.m. for the radio station by 5:30 a.m. tomorrow. DFU all day. Shout out to Brandon Keeler, man. Check him out on the Fan Upstate. Brandon Keeler, podcaster himself. We got to get him converted more over to the Falcon side of things. So DFU should be making some appearances over there pretty soon. They talk the Falcon football. We want them talking the Falcon. We want them talking Falcon football. No Panther football. Brandon Keeler said, I'll send you all the link. Please do, sir. Send us the link. Philip, next name on the list, a guy that I wanted to sign from day one. I didn't care who else got signed, but you better resign this guy. Nate Lemon to Atlanta, 1-year deal. Philip, give me a grade for Nate Lemon.
I don't know, man. That's an A+. I ain't gonna lie to you. The dude's a stud. The things he came in after Troy got hurt, he did amazing, outstanding things. He lived up to the expectation, to the things that Troy, basically lived up to what Troy was, and could do. You don't normally see that out of a backup, to come, a young guy at that anyway, just to come in and just take over a little bit. He was beside Caden Ellis, they just schemed together perfect. You know, it was just, oh, you go here, you know, they locked down at the the linebacker position. You know, it's just, you know, it's crazy to think of just randomly a guy gets hurt at training camp or preseason when you just come in randomly.
Almost like Nate Lemon was kind of like, you know, man of the year type shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Man of the year. So shout out to Nate Lemon for what he did here in Atlanta, man. Nate Lemon, superstar, man. So freaking glad Nate Lemon's back here in Atlanta. Cody, you heard Philip's thoughts on Nate Lemon. He's huge on Nate Lemon, man. Me and Philip talked about last year before Cody joined the podcast. We talked about how Nate Lemon was taking Troy Anderson's job. No matter what it mattered. When Troy Anderson came back, Nate Lemon would be our starting linebacker. Yep. Cody, your thoughts of Nate Lemon signing for a one-year deal. What does that mean? And how does he fit in this Jimmy Lake scheme?
Man, I'll tell you what it means. It's definitely an A+. Man, him and Caden Ellis, dude. You know, I'm an offensive guy for the most part, but I loved watching Caden Ellis and Nate Lemon play defense every time. Man, on games on the road, watching on TV, at the at Mercedes-Benz, at home, there were always two guys around the ball no matter what, and it was Nate Lemon and it was Caden Ellis. Those two guys are beasts. They fly to the ball. Man, that is one thing that they teach you, you know, if you play the defense of the ball, is get to the ball every time. And do those two take that to heart. And so it's awesome that Nate Lemon is coming back. That is a big win for the Falcons. That is a big win for our defense. And I think it's going to be a big reason that we stay in that top 10 as far as our defense is concerned, is with Nate Lemon and Caden Ellis, you know, running around in that middle of the field there. So
to have Nate Lemon back, dude, with, like you said, Caden Ellis, Troy Anderson back healthy, you're going to get that fourth linebacker, whoever that may be. You may even stick Ebiketie back out at the linebacker position, give him another shot there. Me personally, I like Ebiketie on the edge, so I don't know. That's the question, dude. I don't know how this 3-4 is going to benefit players like Ebiketie, D'Angelo Malone. I don't know how these guys are going to fit in this scheme, but I'm excited to see however it may happen. Malone's a guy that I have high hopes for. I actually got the guy's signature on that ball right there. So Malone, man, number 51. Get it popping here in Atlanta this year, brother, because you got a supporter here all the way in Baxley, Georgia. D'Angelo Malone, cool cat. If you've never met him, man, head out to a training camp. D'Angelo Malone's a guy that's going to make sure to chat it up with you. So shout out to D'Angelo Malone. Nate Lemon, A+ for me. Cody, you said A+. Philip, A+ from you. We got another A+ here in the chat from Wallace Smith. Said Lemon was a must, and I think they had given him a longer deal. A+. Shout out to Wallace Smith. Nick Bongolo in the chat said, we might go edge or cornerback in the draft. Yes, we may, and we're going to talk about that. There's a quarterback on a top 5 list that a big name has projected here to Atlanta. Well, you know what? We'll go ahead and throw it up. We might as well just go ahead and throw it up, get this conversation out of the way. Potential picks here to Atlanta. You have Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Quentin Mitchell, cornerback, Toledo. A name to look at right here, Nick. Quinton Mitchell, cornerback, Toledo. Sorry, I butchered that name. Another guy to watch here, Dallas Turner, edge. That's another guy we took in our mock draft 2.0, getting hotter and hotter to come here to Atlanta. All 4 of these guys here, if you take them at 8, you're getting a day 1 starter no matter what. Wherever you go, all 4 of these guys here are starting on your football team week 1. Philip, Cody, your thought of this list, guys? Do you see? Is the guy you drafted 8? Is he sitting on this picture right now? Is it one of these guys an Atlanta Falcon next year, Philip?
Possibly could be. Yes, I do see that. Any of them 4, really. I really don't see a receiver, but it could happen. We don't know. You know, Terry's, his thing is best player available. You know, that's what he's always said. But in my opinion, I do see what's his name, Dallas Turner. I could see us even trading back a couple picks, not far, but a couple picks for Jared Verse or Latu, like we said before the show. You know, that's what I see happening. You know, and
Cody, you see the picture. You see the picture. You see the 4 guys. Is your Atlanta Falcon pick at number 8 on this picture?
Yes, yeah, he absolutely is. Saying hopefully he trades in that nasty Alabama Crimson in for Atlanta Falcon black and red. I was say, hated, as a Bulldog fan, man, hated watching him, absolutely killed us in the SEC, title game, man. I didn't like watching it then, but man, would I love watching it in a Falcon uniform.
For
Yes,
sure.
sir. Yes, sir. For me, man, I've personally talked about all these guys, and Malik Neighbors is the next guy that I'm doing a YouTube reel on. Malik Neighbors is a stud, dude. This guy here, standing at 6'4", he weighs, I think, 225 pounds, I believe. I may be wrong. Don't fact check me on that. But another guy here, Roma Dunze. This is another guy to watch. The smaller school in Washington, but the last 2 years, you get your Quentin Williams out of Washington. Now you got your Roma Dunze out of Washington. These guys are starting to produce. This team is putting out receivers. Queion Mitchell is a very fast cornerback. He's outrunning receivers. His 40-yard dash, I believe. I don't have the number on that, but I looked it up earlier. It was pretty crazy. Dallas Turner, another speedster. He finished first as edge in the 40-yard dash. A guy that, like Cody said, is a freaking aggressor. We've seen it against Georgia in the title game. Somebody that ruined our plans of three-peating. Dallas Turner. Would love to see him reunite here in Atlanta, but be in the Falcon jersey. So I do truly believe one of these four guys is going to end up here in Atlanta if you sit at 8. And like Philip said, you could trade back and take a Latua or a Jared Verse. So draft night is going to be interesting, that's for sure. Headed to the next subject here on Dirty Fanatics United before we get ready to wrap this thing up. Ryan Nuzil, center, that's a re-sign. Guy that's been pretty solid the past 2 years. I'll give that a B+. Philip, your grade for Ryan Nuzil.
Yeah, I'll give it a B+ too. Other than that, man, I don't really know what to say. I've always felt this type of way against like offensive linemen and stuff like that. I don't know. I just can't get the hype out of it. They're important by every mean. I just can't get the hype out of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But
Cody, Ryan Nuzil, I'm sure Cody was a offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Which one were you, Cody?
I was actually a center as well. So
center Cody here. Ryan Nuzil re-signed to the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, what does this signing mean to you, sir?
Hey, man, I'll tell you this. I would say you're as a center, speaking as a center, as long as your name stays out of a newspaper, you're probably doing well. So I understand where Philip's coming from. You don't really want to hear much out of the guy. I'm going to give it an A because you don't hear much out of him. That means he's snapping the ball. That means he's not botching snaps. So great signing. Keep up the good work. Got to show the centers in the offensive line some love. Got to love the big guys up front because the quarterback may touch the ball every time, but we start it.
Yep.
We set the tone.
Yep. 100%, man. One of the most important positions on the offensive side, me being a former all-star coach, I coached the offense. I'm the offense coordinator. The center, man, that's where the game starts. And without that dominant center is something I preach to these kids each year, man. Without this O-line, we have no team. So, like you said, Ryan Nuzil staying out the newspaper, but being on the field each and every year, showing up to every game healthy. Ryan Nuzil, B+ here signing for me. Shout out to Ryan Nuzil. Shout out to Wallace Smith in the chat with the comment here. Something that I was not aware of, but we did run the 3-4 with Dean Pease. AK and Malone were drafted for the 3-4 defense under Pease. So they should fit well. Something to watch, man. I got high hopes for AK too as well, Philip, man. That's the guy. Much love for the sack doctor. Wallace Smith said, I think Turner could be the pick at 8. Well, man, you can't go wrong with Dallas Turner, bro. That's a steal at 8, bro. I really think Dallas Turner is underrated when it comes to this draft. Wallace Smith in the chat said, I don't see them drafting another receiver until the 3rd or 4th round. That's very well possible.
Agreed. I agree. I don't see nothing. If we go a receiver, I think it'll be one of them 3rd-round picks unless we we trade one of them 3rd picks for something different, But that's what I see at one of them 3rd-round picks is a receiver. I'm hoping, Ladd makes it that far,
Recognized game in the chat said Ebiketie is more like a Von Miller in the 3-4. Man, if we get a Von Miller out of Ebiketie, bro, that 2nd-round trade to get Ebiketie was the best trade we ever made. Ebiketie, man, high hopes for that kid. Sterling Woods with a C+ for the Ryan Nuzil signing. Nick Bongolo said Alex Max was huge in 2016. Yes, he was. He was a big part of that Super Bowl run, man. Alex
Had
Mack
good vibes.
definitely hurt when we lost him, and I think we're still kind of recovering from that loss. So huge part when it comes to center. New Zealand's a B, continuity, facts. Nick Bongolo said the Washington receiver at 8 and Penix second round. So Dunze at 8 and Penix second round. That's crazy. That's
I'm
a
gonna
duo
just say
there.
this: if we go receiver with that first pick, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would rather have a Dunze.
Yeah, a Dunze over Malik Neighbors.
I like a Dunze. That's just me.
Okay.
But not knocking Malik down. He's still him. He's still doing his thing though. But I prefer a Dunze. I just feel like he would fit better here.
Headed to our next signing. A lot of signings these Atlanta Falcons have made, man. And I got a whole list over here of signings that Falcons have made in free agency. That's why they received the A+ grading they receive when it comes to free agency, man. Ray McLeod, special team / receiver from Kansas City. Philip, give me your grade for that guy. Speedster.
I'm gonna give it a B+. I never really do too much of the guy, but I have looked up on him. He's got speed, he's got talent. Another guy that could probably take that top of somebody, or he could be a great at kick or punt return, something like that. Something we really haven't seen a whole lot out of. Maybe he could make some plays at the kick or punt return. You never know. But as of right now, I'm gonna give him a B+.
Cody Phillips grade in B+. Ray McLeod to the Atlanta Falcons. What does this signing mean? And how are we feeling about this? Does Ray McLeod, is he just a camp body, or is this a guy we're going to make a dirty bird for the long run?
I think it's a B, a little bit lower than B+. Again, I like the speed. Never really watch, I don't really watch much Kansas City football, but you're going to need that guy to kind of replace CP, punt return, kick return. I know we've got Williams that kind of is
Avery Williams.
Avery Williams is kind of our speed guy. But again, it gives us a guy that's quick, that you throw out there on offense every once in a while. Run a little, run some reverse, whatever. But I mean, speed kills, in football. And that's just, what we keep adding is speed.
Yep. That's 100%. Just like right here, Rondell Moore equals Gabriel 2.0. Exactly, man. You talk about, Ray McLeod, like Cody's saying, another guy that's a speedster here in Atlanta. And that's what they talked about, man. And I don't mean to sound like Dan Quinn, but they said it themselves. Fast, physical. Wins football games, and we seen it 2016, man. That really did win football games. A fast physical offense, fast physical defense, quick. We had a speedster when it came to defense in 2016. Just very young.
Quinn knew what he was doing. We just all know that Super Bowl loss killed. Literally, it drained everybody. It drained everybody. He could still watch. He could still do his thing in Washington, but here in Atlanta, it was just. After that, it just killed the mood. It wasn't even him. It was just the law, the way it happened, how it happened, But shout out to Quinn. Do your thing over there. But when you play us, take this L, bitch.
You heard that, man. Shout out to Philip for his takes. Shout out to David Ellison on Facebook, man. I just got a message from David Ellison. He's from Recognized Game. That's who Recognized Game is. That's the other Falcon content creator that will be here for Fan Night. So shout out to David Ellison, hashtag Recognized Game. We're going to be here for Fan Night. Nick Bungalow, you've been in the chat for a couple of nights, man. It's time to get you on the show. If you want to be here, hashtag DFU in the chat. Let me know if you want to be on a live show for Dirty Fanatics United Fan Night. Need about 2 more people. So 2 slots open for that, and that'll be about a week or two away. Got to get the date set for that. But be sure, if you're new to the channel, head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button. You see it right here on the red banner, DFU_ATL. It's all you have to type in. It carries you straight to our channel. Hit the link. You'll see the Falcon. It'll say DFU, the birds inside the DFU. Hit the subscribe button, man. It's free. It's free, guys. We're trying to make it to 1K. We're at 332, I believe, before the channel started. So hit the subscribe button, man. Get us there. We're trying to make it to 350. My boy Cody's going to give away a free ticket once we hit it 350 before the end of this month. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, man. Headed to the next subject, Cardell Hodge, a re-sign. He's a gunner. Philip, Cardell Hodge, your thoughts?
I I'm gonna give this one a B. I don't. When I say this, I take back the B plus a minute ago. I'm gonna give that one a B as well. But I'm gonna give the Hodge sign a B. I feel like he's a guy that can come back. We've seen his talents here before. Smith obviously didn't use him like he did the 2 years before that. It was like another situation, like with Pitts. All of them. It was like NCP. It was just certain players like that didn't get used the way they were supposed to. He had too much on his plate. The guy could come in and make some great first down catches, from a third down or short first down, here and there. It's just, or he can do his deep balls. It is what it is. That's what you get out of somebody like him. It's not the guy that needs to be the best, but as a guy that is also well needed. It's like a small piece to stuff, to get everything connecting. But other than that, I give it a B.
Cody, your thoughts? Cordell Hodge here for another year. A guy that's been here for a while. Arthur Smith kind of brought him into the building, but I hear he has ties with another coach. I can't remember the coach, but Cordell Hodge back here in Atlanta. Your thoughts? Give me a grade for that.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely with Philip on that. I think you give him a B. It's a good re-sign. Like Philip said again, I feel like Arthur Smith brought him in 2022. I feel like he had, he was consistent, and then we get to 23. It's like, okay, cool. You were consistent and this is how we used you. We're doing something totally different. And I didn't understand it because I felt like in 22, we heard Hodge's name quite a bit. Yep. And I feel like he was a pretty big part of our offense. And then all of a sudden just disappeared. So right. I'm looking forward to seeing what, Jimmy Lake, Jimmy Lake, what Zach Robinson and, the offense can do with him this time and see if we can get him back to that consistency. Again, doesn't necessarily need to be, your number one, number two, but just bring back that consistency.
Yes, sir, man. You heard Cody. Consistency is key, man. And Cordell Hodge really had it going on there for a little while. He was really breaking off some big games when it came to like that Scotty Miller type player that we were expecting to get. Cordell Hodge was once that role, and it was nice to have the guy that could take the top off like Alameda Zaccheaus used to do back in the day when Matt Ryan would throw it up for 60 yards and Zaccheaus would just come down with it in the end zone. Something we haven't seen here in Atlanta since Matty Ice has left the building. And like Philip said, you finally have a true leader since Matty Ice has left and Kirk Cousins. So a lot of Falcon fans have a lot of faith for this upcoming season, man. And me personally, being a podcaster, watching the Dirty Birds as much as I do, I really think this is the year, man. I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan, but just from a professional perspective, I really see the keys on this roster. Philip, go ahead.
Something a lot better than what we've seen. That's what,
for sure.
This is what we're hoping. We're hoping big things.
Nate Bongo in the chat said Mooney is like Addison. That's a high comparison there, dude. Addison really came in his rookie year and shined. Cordell is B and a good special teams player and can play receiver too. Recognized game said Hodge, depth, and special teams receiver 4 or receiver 5 if we draft early receiver. Well, I can see it. I can see it. If you're on Twitter, man, head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. You see the link right there. All you got to do is hit that link, head over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, man. It helps us out. We're trying to reach 350 by the end of this month, man. We greatly appreciate it. The very last name here on this list, guys, is Storm Norton, offensive tackle. Another re-sign, a solid guy that's been through training camps, been pretty healthy when it comes throughout the whole season. I'll give Storm Norton, just because I haven't seen too much of him, I'll give him a B- is what I'll grade him.
My turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to give him an A. He stepped in for Caleb McGarry. He held his thing down. He's giving Caleb McGarry a run for his money. That's all I'm going to say. So Caleb McGarry better stay on his all 10 toes because Storm Norton's going to be the guy possibly that could take his spot if he don't watch out. Somebody that's probably, if it happens the way I think it is, he's going to be the one locking down Chase Young when it comes down to them Saints-Falcon games. That's what's just going to happen. So I would just give him an A.
Cody, your thoughts, Storm Norton?
Yeah, no, I'm going to give him a solid B. Came in, like Philip said, absolutely, locked it in while Caleb was hurt. I think that he's a good a good piece to either start or you can, again, to fill in where, somebody gets hurt. So good, solid B, re-sign.
Jeremiah Weems, shout out one time for the fan. Jeremiah Weems, our Dirty Fanatics United special giveaway winner of the white hoodie, here in the chat said, "What's up, fans?" Jeremiah, I promise you, brother, the hoodie is coming. It's being made all the way in California. You can ask my boy Dwayne Ruffkin, LaMarcus Boyd, other guys that have bought. It takes forever to ship out, man. If I could make it come out quicker, I would. But they've started a new thing now. If it's not sold in bulk, they're not pre-made. So if it's just one single order, it takes longer to be fabricated and made. Me and Philip's working on getting our stuff here to do it ourselves. Is coming up very shortly. So prices will be lower, and merch supplying, shipping will be a lot faster because we'll be doing it here hands-on. So stick around for that, Jeremiah Williams. It is coming to you, brother. Wallace Smith in the chat said, Norton, a B, another good depth, and the swing T-spot. Recognized Game said Norton, solid depth piece. We'll give him a B. Shout out real quick. Shout out to Mateo. For those that don't know Mateo, he's a Falcon fan, obviously. He has a bunch of Facebook groups on Facebook with a bunch of followings. Mateo has just messaged me on Facebook. He wants to be our 5th spot for our special guest on Fan Night. So we have our slots full here on Fan Night. So like I said, tune in here recently or here soon. We'll do a Fan Night. I'll get you guys the date here very soon. We'll all agree on a date so we can all make it. And we'll make sure to get everybody on here, get our interviews, and let you guys speak on how you feel about these Dirty Birds this upcoming season. One more guy to talk about, then that's the Cardinals trade, Desmond Ridder out of Atlanta. Philip, your thoughts? I know you were a big supporter of Des, just like we all were. Desmond Ridder out of Atlanta for Rashad Moore, another speedster receiver. Your thoughts?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to give this one out of what we traded, I'm going to give this one an A-. I feel like we definitely won the trade. I respect Des and everything, how he showed the love to these, to the real fans, the real ones, just the team, the franchise, the blank. It was just always nothing but respect and business for him, man. Like, and I respect him, but we won this trade. Moore is something that, if you look at his highlights, bro, like it's just something different than what we've had in a little bit. You know what I mean? It's just something like a new pace. That's what I'm trying to say. Like something we ain't seen since like 16 out of certain receivers. I'm excited to have him here. So I'm gonna give him a A-.
Cody, Rashad Moore here to Atlanta. Another speedster you add to the roster. Receiver room getting pretty deep when it comes to receiver. Your thought of Rashad Moore with the trade of Desmond Ridder?
Yeah, no, I think it's probably it's going to be an A- for me. Watched a little bit of his highlights there in Arizona. I believe he's only like 5'7". He's small guy, but I'm not a fan of small receivers. But man, I tell you what. And of course, he's no Bijan when it comes to footwork or, collecting ankles. But watching him, he's fast. Man, is he fast. He's fast and he's aggressive, too. That was the one thing I liked watching. As a matter of fact, I was watching a highlight where the Cardinals are playing the Rams, and Kyler Murray throws an interception, and man, Moore is right there and snatches that ball right out of the defender's hand, takes off for another 15 yards. And it's like, if you can give me that small, aggressive, short man syndrome, wide receiver, like a what's his name? I hate saying his name. Steve Smith. No,
Steve Smith.
If you can give me that, as much as I hate Steve Smith, if you can give me that attitude, and I don't think he's like a Steve Smith, but if you can give me that short man, like I'm gonna run through you, not around you. But man, he can run around people too. Watching him, I would say he's definitely one to watch. He's sneaky too, man. I feel like every other highlight catch that he had, there was nobody around him, just because I think he's small and kind, and just wanders off into the defense, and he's just so quick that they don't notice it.
Yes, sir, man. Rashad Moore, a guy that adds another piece of depth to your receiver room, or a part of your offense that was pretty depleted last year. When Matt Collins went down, you didn't really have that third. You had to go sign Van Jefferson. He never fulfilled the role here in Atlanta. You could tell the playbook was a little issue with trying to switch over schemes. He actually goes back and follows Dave Ragone. So, it's nice to see that you're added to the receiver room. You finally have depth there at the receiver core. It's nice to see the Atlanta Falcons finally getting the grade that you want to see. They get an A by Ben something here. So shout out to that guy for giving us an A. And I will say the NFC South had a good grade. All teams had a good grade in the NFC South. So something to watch there, man. I think the NFC South is pretty interesting this season, but they are our Falcons. I believe they finish it off with the number one spot for sure. The Dirty Birds finished off the year with the NFC South champions. That's about it for today, man. We've hit on all our free agent signings. We've hit on all our targets, our new quarterback wearing number 18 here in Atlanta. Guys, we have 2 jerseys we have to buy, man. We got a new rookie we got to buy, and we got to buy a Kirk Cousins number 18. So 2 new jerseys to add to the stack. Philip's going to rethread his, so when you see him, make sure you jug on him about that. But Philip, with that being said, man, tonight's show has been a hit. We've had Twitter followers, man. Twitter's views are up tonight at 38 views right now on Twitter. A total of 47 live viewers right now in the chat. So shout out to everybody here. We greatly appreciate it, man. Head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button if you're new to Dirty Fanatics United. Philip, your shout outs for tonight, dog.
As always, shout out to everybody. Shout out to people on Twitter, man. I was looking at it the other day trying to get on when I wasn't here. I couldn't join in because I had certain service issues. But hey, there wasn't many at the time. But from what we're looking at right here, shout out to y'all. We love the support. Without y'all, there is no us. As always, same as everybody on every other platform y'all are watching on. Without y'all, there's no us. Without the team, there is no us. So shout out to Atlanta Falcons. Without them, we can't talk about this glorious, wonderful team that we love. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. Let's take on this season, baby. Let's take on this NFC South. Let's take this NFC Championship game, baby. Let's go. Let's look forward to big things, man. And as always, man, rise up, man.
Yes, sir, Philip. Good shout outs there, brother. Wallace Smith, real quick, say great content, fellas, and keep up the good work. We appreciate you, Wallace Smith. Looking forward to having you here on the channel for Fan Night. Stick around, Dirty Fanatics United, and a lot more here to come, man. We greatly appreciate you, Wallace. Cody, your shout outs for tonight, brother.
Yeah, as always, shout out to the people watching, man. I feel like, I've just started this podcasting thing with y'all. I feel like 40 live viewers is a lot. I don't know what average is or what's considered good, but man, if you had told me, 5 months ago, hey, you're going to get invited to come do a podcast about the Falcons, you'll have, I would have told you you're crazy. But here we are, man. And I was saying I'm loving every minute of it. But shout out to the people watching. Like Philip said, if y'all aren't watching, it's just 3 guys sitting here talking Falcon football. I'd love that anyway. But you guys really give us something to continue to keep going with the content and really digging deep in an off season. Of course, shout out to you two for taking your time, to come talk Falcon football. Yes, it's I love doing it, man. I would say that this is the way I could, like I said, I could go another 2 hours with y'all talking about our Dirty Birds. Always, keep, liking, sharing, subscribing, whatever you got to do, man. The more that y'all do for us, the more that we can do for y'all. So, again, 350 subscribers. I want to send somebody to Falcon game, and I'm telling you, if we can hit 350 and then go to 4, we'll make it 420 in April. I'll send you to another preseason game if we've got, if we got a second one. I'll do it. I would say I want to send Falcon fans to go watch their team. You guys have the passion for the team that we do, and so I want to send passionate fans to a game, even if it's preseason. It's a free Falcon game, like Jay said. It's a free Falcon game. I say I would have killed for that, 10 years ago before I moved out here.
Yes, sir.
So, but shout out to everybody. Shout out to y'all. And always rise up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. Much love to Cody. Much love to Philip. Y'all heard the man. We don't have the podcast if it ain't for you guys in the comment section. You total 49 live viewers right now. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in. Like Cody said, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tons of stuff here at Dirty Fanatics United to give away, man. You're missing out if you're not hitting the subscribe button. A lot of stuff to give away here. And like my boy Cody said, we want to send you to games. We want to send you free merch. We want to send you DFU hoodies. That's what we want to do. We want to continue keeping you guys engaged to the podcast that we got going over here, man. With that being said, I want to give a shout out to each and everybody that tuned in, everybody that messaged tonight, participating for the fan night. We got a banger of a show coming up. This is something I thought about on the way home today. So last spare minute of the thing, Cody Phillip is going to pop off. We're going to have a nice show coming up, fan night here at Dirty Fanatics United. I believe it's our very second or third fan night here on DFU. We're going to make this a normal thing here. We want to give y'all guys a chance to talk, give you guys the chance to express your feelings. I know it gets a lot to type behind a screen. I was once that guy typing in a live podcast. So be sure to stay here and tuned in, man, if you want to have the chance to do that. As always, man, it's your boy Cody, Chase, and Phillip from Dirty Fanatics United, man. There ain't much more for me to tell you, but rise up and be sure you keep that peace up and that A-Town down, man. Rise up.